It really bothers me how there's been a rise in these videos where young people will get accepted into their dream university and the parents will help them celebrate by filling their bed with a bunch of items like plastic cups, blankets, decorations. But often these items look like they could be donated to a homeless shelter rather than just a few goodies celebrating the child getting in. And I find it so interesting as we browse social media that so many people lack nuance. As I open up this comment section, I'm expecting to see a criticism on the fact that these items are clearly an example of overconsumption. People who need them a lot more could receive them. For example, it's very doubtful that people who are upper class need yet another plastic cup, crappily made blanket, or pillow, you know? But when I open up the comments, I see this. It's like that Dance Moms audio. I'm interrupted by this nasty sound of misogynistic comments saying that this 18-year-old girl who's been accepted into her university of choice is essentially going to partake in a lot of sexual activities in a negative light. And I find it so scary how there's this anti-woman alt-right resurgence of misogynistic comments on social media. And as we look at influencers like Clavicular or Andrew Tate, they're all the pilots of this. You know, they are making these comments become more chic for people to comment on innocent women's behaviors. And essentially it becomes this self-insert fan fiction making women into doing something nefarious or nasty when they're just minding their business. Like, this girl's just wearing a little outfit, having her little rich people overconsumption party. And I find it so interesting that none of the comments are talking about wealth inequality or anything. They're fully, you know, if we could draw a conclusion, we could draw it about something that's relevant and actually pressing. But instead, these men are living in this literal fan fiction, self-insert fan fiction, where every woman on earth wants to hear their opinion on their choices. And it's really terrifying to me. And I think we're elevating it to a point where we're going to start seeing more hate and mistreatment towards women that is normalized. And I've noticed even in anecdotal stories of young women in the dating market right now, as my own experiences being treated by men on social media and things of the nature, men are not feeling as much remorse when treating women with a total lack of respect. And I think when we see this rise in things like girl power, it's very hard for men to finally not have this power of privilege. And to them, equality is a threat to their supremacy. So I think they're starting to have these grifts to get their power back. And as my friend Mac pointed out today, we see this often when a white man takes interest in a cultural art form and almost acts like he created it, because it's not enough to try something new and kind of journey into someone else's culture. I think white men really, really want the dominant role in society. Another place I see this online that to me is a shocking sign of the alt-right times is a lot of threats, perceived threats by white men towards black men. Often white women becoming this casualty caught in the crossfire where they say that, you know, white women are going off to college to date or do whatever with black men. And I find it really odd how culturally this reveals that white men are being threatened by black men for various reasons. I was reading through a comment section where people were just spewing extremely racist comments towards each other on a video of Clavicular saying he would ask girls if they've ever ridden in a HELLCAT, which was supposed to be his way of proving if they date black men or not. And I find it so interesting how among all this muck, this brain rot, this slop, these racialized stereotypes, you know, we really want to put people into categories and we hate it. We can't tolerate the idea of women going to college or interracial relationships. It is just 100% like white women need to be with the honorable white man, you know, and if they're not, they're a race traitor. And I wonder, where are these ideals coming from? And to me, this kind of content reveals that we are so cooked, brother.